Hi, Jeanette from the UK here, Far Forest Ceramics. I'm on a bit of an adventure today. Well, for me it's an adventure. I set off at 6 a.m, 3-hour drive up north to Doncaster direction. My mum came with me as well. I've just dropped her off at some family locally, and I'm going on a raku course this afternoon. So my husband made me a fantastic raku kiln at Christmas, which I haven't used yet. So I'm going for an introduction to the basics at the Potting Shed Studio. It's actually owned by the lovely Joy Gibb, who I've met because they asked me to try out some of their tools that herself and Sarah have been launching from Mover and Shapers UK. So I thought, what better idea to actually meet them in person, have a catch up, but also have an introduction to raku. So I've just arrived and I'm here. Yay! Weather's not brilliant, but we are UK, but it's dry. So I'm heading on in there. Look at this fabulous studio. Oh, I wish I lived closer so I could come here regularly. Look at this. Amazing pieces that the guys are doing. Really nice pieces. Look at this little dragon. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So looking forward to my raku class this afternoon, but lovely to get to meet everybody beforehand. So I purchased a 12.5 kilo bag of Raku Clay from a local supplier, and I thought I'll just stick with 12.5 kilos, see how I get on. Very different to throw with, just chose for simple shapes to try with naked and also with glaze on at the workshop. So I'm just trimming them slightly, and going to be interesting to see how these play with the glazes and learn as much as I can from this workshop. First on the agenda was to fire the pots for naked raku, and while they were firing we then got about to glaze the remainder of our pots using some Spectrum raku glazes. Interesting to see how some of these play on some textured pieces as well. Oh, wow. Time for the naked raku decoration, and I'm going to use a peacock feather on this. Initially the first piece is checking to see if it's too hot. This was a little bit too hot when I started with it, and then I tried and you could see how the feather was burning away a little bit too much. So in hindsight this was a little bit too hot for the first feather, but the second one seemed to work a little bit better. Surprised how it actually didn't keep much of the feather shape on it. Not overly blown away. And then the inside used horsehair. First time I actually put a little clump. Didn't realise that actually single strands work a lot more effectively and create some really cool curly lines. So learnt a lot on this piece. Not my favourite, but it was still an interesting process to learn. Next up is a piece I added some sweeps of glaze before the naked firing. I'm adding some horsehair here, but the first time I added way too much. Less is more, Jeanette. So the minute you do single pieces, it creates much more dynamic, dramatic lines in my opinion. Really love the less is more. Then we're sprinkling on some granulated sugar to create some beautiful spots of interest. You can also trickle honey on these, I believe. This is going to get so addictive. Next part of the firing is the pieces that we've glazed with the raku glazes. So they've been in the kiln until they've got up to the relevant temperature, and then these are placed in reduction bins. So these are fireproof containers that have got a combustible material in there. These have got sawdust in them. There's 4 that have gone in these 2 bins. Mine is one of them. Taller ones, they've sprinkled some extra sawdust over the top. The lid will then be placed on the top to starve it of oxygen.
And then I'll show you a bird. So just stand back a bit.
You mean I'll be owed a bird?
Ah!
So that's letting the oxygen back in on the pieces.
And does that help the metallic finish?
Yes.
You can see why they call it a burp.
Yeah.
We have the next set of pieces going in the next firing, but it takes a while to get to temperature. So while those are firing, we actually have time to clean up the naked raku that we took out the kiln earlier.
But sort of the colour of the clay is when it's wet, it's sort of the colour it'll go
And it's got the wax on it.
if you varnish it, yeah.
Furniture wax, did you say?
Beeswax.
Beeswax.
Use
I've
furniture
had
wax.
some beeswax. Come back to that one in a minute. But just a normal pot, actually.
Yeah.
So when I get these home, I'll get some furniture wax, beeswax, and polish them up to try and bring out this deeper warmth in the clay body.
Look at that side.
Yeah.
It's a bit OTT, that side. It's like less is more, definitely.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. The bottoms always look really good.
Now this piece comes from the reduction chamber and it gets plunged into water. Any area of clay that wasn't glazed will actually turn black from the oxidation in the reduction chamber.
Oh, I love the metallic on that.
Sorry, I'm going to run you over.
Not necessarily, no. I mean, you can try it and then write it again if you want.
Final piece out the reduction chamber, and this is now going to go into water, but I'm really keen to see if we get a metallic finish.
I'm not going to submerge it totally.
Not being submerged completely so that it doesn't all boil and crack the piece.
They do make a lot of noises, don't they?
Lovely metallics on that.
Oh, yes. Oh. Yeah, this was the blue. This was that.
I am so blown away with the results of this one. This is how I like raku, with this metallic luster, different shades reflecting in the light, and look at that dark clay where it's gone black with the oxidation. Yeah, I think this is my favourite piece. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's that bit. I wasn't sure how to do it. That is really yellow.
So this is showing on the left the bisque piece, the glaze before it fired, and then the final piece on the right hand side. So the black has come from the oxidation where I didn't add glaze to the piece. And then when you come to the two that were naked raku, because they didn't go in the reduction bins, the bare clay remained clay colour. And that is what I will add furniture wax when I get home to bring out the colour that you saw in the water. I was thrilled while at the studio. I got to spend time with both Joy, who's the owner of the studio, and Sarah, who form Movers and Shapers UK, and they gave me a really lovely surprise while I was there.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, I didn't come in here to try. Wow!
That'll keep you busy.
Adding beeswax just brought out the colour of the naked clay incredibly. What an absolutely incredible day, well worth a 3-hour drive. Thank you to Joy for hosting such an amazing workshop. I learnt so much. Thanks for all the hints and tips along the way. As you know, I'm going to try and find my raku kiln when I get home. This is an adventure I'm never going to want to end. Fascinating, absolutely mesmerising, and I cannot wait to get stuck in at home. I just need to buy some glazes, some reduction boxes, some combustibles. Oh, it's never ever going to end. Thank you, Joy, for a fabulous, fabulous day. And thank you to Joy and Sarah for all the tools from Movers and Shapers UK. I cannot wait to get in the studio and try them out.